Major changes incoming. A new report from a Warriors insider reveals that Steve Kerr is looking to make some big changes to the starting lineup again, sending one of the heroes of the series to the bench after their blowout loss to the Rockets in Game 5. Does that mean Jonathan Kuminga is headed back to the rotation? Today's video, I'm going to break down everything we know and the impact it's going to have moving forward in the series. Plus, AI reveals the actual starting lineup that Steve Kerr should be using. You won't believe the results because half of Dub Nation has been screaming for this for months. But before we get to that, hit subscribe right now if you want the Warriors to win in Game 6. I'm Arthur Ballesteros. This is Warriors Digest. We bring you daily videos breaking down everything going on with the Warriors. Thank you to the 11,000 of you who have joined the community. So hit that button right now and let's get to the news of the day here. This is the rumor going around here. Warriors rumors. Insider makes a prediction for Steve Kerr's Game 6 tweak. Before we get into that, I want you to drop a comment down below. You tell me what changes the Warriors need to make in order to make sure that they get that Game 6 victory. But this report came from Tim Kawakami, who, if you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, you know he's been following this Warriors team for decades. He is a true insider who has a lot of unique perspective, and he has nailed so many of these predictions before. That's why I put a little bit more weight into this, even though it just is his theory on what could be happening here. So this is what he had to say. He said, if Kerr makes a rotation tweak for Game 6, it'll be Moses Moody back into the starting lineup over Buddy Hield. Moody's shot isn't following, but he's the Warriors' most complete option on the wing next to Butler. And if they're going to keep winning, it'll likely be with Moses Moody playing well. And he balled out yesterday in the blowout. So let's take it all with a grain of salt here. But he did score 25 points, 9 boards. He looked great shooting, 3 of 7 from behind the arc, 4 of 4 on his free throws. He was part of the bench mob that got the Warriors to within 12 points after they had gotten behind so far. He was a key reason why the Warriors were even in that game. But the problem with Moses Moody is he hadn't been doing anything so far in the series. Game 1, 7 points. Game 2, 12 points. Game 3, 7 points. And that's when you start to see the reduction in minutes come from Kerr, where then in Game 4, he only gets 12 minutes, only scores 3 points. But then Kerr was forced to use him as he was trying to rest starters to prepare for Game 6 because of the blowout. Moody gets entered back in, goes off 25 points. So now we have a little bit of a dilemma here because we have Buddy Hield in the starting lineup who should not be a true starter. But we know Kerr likes to go with the hot hand. That's the reason why Buddy was in the starting lineup over Moody to begin with, because Buddy had come off the bench and shown some flashes there. He got real hot, was actually playing pretty well on defense, being super aggressive, making some great stops. And so Buddy got the start again, and it didn't work this time. That's okay. Steve can make the adjustments here, but which one is actually better? So I've been running the numbers all day. I've been looking at everything. My brain is fried because of it. And when looking at everything, there is such a minuscule difference between the two so far in their playoff numbers. True shooting for Moses Moody in the playoffs right now, 57%. Buddy Hield's at 51%. Moses is scoring about 11 points compared to Buddy, about 9 points per game. Both shooting about the same clip from behind the arc, around 33, 34%. So you can't really decipher too much from there. But when you look at this expanded a little bit more, still the numbers very similar. And now all of this is very skewed because the sample sizes are so small here. But when we look at the combination of starters here from these last games here, Moody got the first 2 starts. They were 1-1 there. And then, you started to see Kerr having to shuffle things a little bit around because of the injury to Jimmy Butler. So things got all out of whack. You had Quinten Post starting. You had Buddy Hield, as we've been talking about, starting here. But which one is actually going to make the Warriors better? Well, there's a reason why Moses Moody was in the starting lineup for so long. The Warriors were 16-3 in the regular season with him in the starting lineup alongside Steph, Jimmy, Dre, Pods. Why was that working? Because partially of Moses Moody's defense. Now, so far in the series here, we have seen him doing a clamp job on Jalen Green. He was holding him to about 38% shooting over 47 one-on-one matchups. That's just not something that you're going to get with Buddy Hield. Also, Moses Moody, 7-foot wingspan. He's just somebody who can attack the passing lanes, disrupt things. The Warriors are going to need more of a two-way player playing heavier minutes there if they're going to want to put this game away tomorrow and put the series away. Moses Moody makes the most sense to me, although the numbers won't tell you anything, but you just kind of have to roll with the hot hand right now. It's the playoffs. Steve Kerr is a master of rolling with that hot hand, even when it doesn't fully make sense. Like, it did not make sense to put Buddy Hield in the starting lineup. He did it. It paid off for one game, didn't for another. That's fine. We can adjust again. The thing that I love about this game and this reaction to this from Dub Nation Warriors fans, nobody is worried. Like, we would have all been flying off the handles if this was a regular season game and we saw this happen, but nobody was worried because of the bench mob, because you saw the fact that the Warriors are maybe a little bit deeper than we thought and have some options for some guys who can really step up. Pat Spenser, we saw Kevin Knox, my God, what a revelation in garbage time. But it just shows you the different options here that the Warriors have. Moses Moody being a part of that, you can kind of shuffle him in and out of the lineup. And the thing about Moody that is very different from Jonathan Kuminga is he's tougher mentally. He has responded better to coaching from Steve Kerr, and he showed it in his game as well. Jonathan Kuminga ends up kind of sulking a bit, gets in his own head. We've seen all the issues going on there the whole series ever since the benching happened at the end of this season there. So I just believe that Moses will respond better if you put him back into the starting lineup. And Buddy Hield's not going to have his feelings hurt. He knows he should be on the bench. He's your microwave. You need that guy off the bench to be able to give you instant offense. But speaking of Kuminga, we did get an update from Anthony Slater on his status for Game 6 because everybody was wondering where was he in Game 5. Well, Anthony Slater revealed that he had a migraine. He's feeling better today. He is going to be available for Game 6. I do think that at some point, if the Warriors make a deep playoff run, I mean, even in the second round, he's going to be somebody that they're going to need to play some minutes. So it's going to be good to get him back into the rotation at some point in some capacity. But something is off here. You know, I think that Randy Silver, who's also on Warriors Digest here, he's the OG of the channel. He pointed out a couple of games ago that Jonathan Kuminga wasn't even sitting on the bench and he wasn't with the team. And then the next game we see he's out with the migraine. All of this seems very suspicious to me. Lots of people call me a conspiracy theorist, and yeah, sure, maybe. But I'll tell you, I do have some insight on this from some people who are very close to the Warriors. I live here in San Francisco. I have some inside knowledge. There is more than meets the eye with Jonathan Kuminga, and that's all I'm going to say there. I think that the truth is going to come out in the coming months here, but I do think that a lot of his benching had to do more so with the psychological makeup than it did with his actual on-court play. But you tell me what you think in the comments there. I mean, I'm going to continue to hold my opinion because I believe in it. I believe very strongly from what I'm hearing here from my sources as well. But I wanted to get to this because also, you know, bringing up Kuminga, I was like, you know, everybody's been talking about the different lineup combinations, how Kuminga doesn't fit with Jimmy Butler, this and that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask AI. I want Chat GPT to dial in the exact most efficient starting lineup for the Warriors. I look at the numbers myself. We can tell you the numbers ourselves based on the cold, hard facts. But I wanted to see what AI had to say about this, because I just thought it would be fun to take a look here. And this was ChatGPT's revised Game 6 blueprint with Jonathan Kuminga in the starting lineup. Now, we did see that he got a start earlier in the series here. Didn't really play out too well. He ended up only playing a handful of minutes. But this is what ChatGPT thinks is the prime optimal starting lineup for the Warriors. Steph, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green when it ran the numbers and everything there. I will tell you that ChatGPT is wrong, and this is why you do not trust it, and you need to double check it every single time you use it. I want to hear your thoughts, though. You tell me, what should the Warriors be doing here in Game 6? What are you looking for? What adjustments do you think the team should make? Drop your comment below, and I'll talk to you tomorrow after the game when we celebrate a Warriors win. Fingers crossed. I'm going to not jinx it, but I think I just got to shut up. I got to stop jinxing things. All right, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. Peace.